right. So you go first. White always goes first. All right. So I had this idea for a game. It's called Reck Olection, and it can be either a video game or a board game. And so what I was thinking was that since the elections in 2020 were completely above board and there was nothing wrong with them because they were like the most fair elections ever. But the idea that the conspiracy theorists gave me was that we could make a board game and sell it to conspiracy theorists and then deep state people alike, and basically make some money off this because it's kind of cool. So I called it Reck Olection because most of the deplorables are stupid and they wouldn't know how to spell Reck, so we'll spell it R-E-C-K. Reck Olection, get it? It's kind of like playing on, but the stupid conservatives won't get that. But anyway,
how's it set up?
All right, so what we do is we have two opposing forces. We've got what do they call them? The deep government. The conspiracy theory people call them? The deep state or the swamp? Yeah. So anyway, we have the deep state on one side, and then we have the Pats on the other side.
So like that undefined person from SNL. Well, then again, you could never really tell what gender Pat was channeling. So
no, it's more like Tony Eason. Anyway.
Okay. So
yeah.
How's the opposing side set up?
All right. So the strong side. Well, it appears to be the strong side. You have the deep state, who has what these things are called mules. You know what a mule is, other than the farm animal. Other than the animal that kicks things in the head. Well, you got drug mules. You know what a drug mule is, right? What's a drug mule?
Carry drugs around.
Right, but they walk them on. They got the backpack so the cops don't stop them like with their cars or anything, because they're not driving. The cops can't stop them. So the drug dealers hire mules to drop off the drugs, and they get the money through like some sort of random thing, like a
I get it.
Okay,
I get it.
And then you got also mules that carry stuff across borders, but putting it somewhere we don't want to talk about. But anyway, those are in Dungeons and Dragons, right? The guy with the 1800 strength, he's the mule. He carries all the gold and everything else because he can carry everything. Anyway, so in the Reck Olection, the mules are people with these really low cost electric cars. Actually not low cost, but the NGOs bought them their electric cars. Anyway, they're driving around. Actually, they'd probably be cheap cars like Pintos or something like that because these mules really don't make too much money. So what's going to happen is the mules will go to these places called basic NGOs or non-governmental organizations. We'll call them bingos so that YouTube won't censor this if we're trying to advertise the game. But anyway, so the mules will go and pick up fake ballots from the NGOs, and then they'll go deliver them to separate different remote balloting locations. And that way they can deliver the fake ballots to go with the Virginia power servers that are actually changing the ballot, changing the electric count while the vote's going on.
Okay, so everything's stacked against the Pats, like.
Well, not just that, but you have the FBI, the CIA, NSA, all those three-letter agencies. They're all on the deep state side. The only law enforcement that's on the Pat side would be the sheriff's department, Castle King side. So
how do they resist this deep state then?
Well, the thing is, you keep it simple, right? So what you do is, now I won't say anything violent because I won't purport violence, because the best way is to prevent the mule from getting to the ballot location. But again, think about that. That's like preventing someone from voting, but they're not really voting because they got a bunch of fake ballots. So you gotta stop them from getting from the NGOs, the bingos, to the ballot locations. So what does the Pat do? Well, I could say that they do a random tire inspection using a knife. Just check the depth of the thread on the tires, and that, I'm doing it on all 4 tires, will stop them from going. Because how are you going to replace 4 flat tires? So we'll call those random inspections. Random inspections. That's one of their things. But the FBI is going to try to stop them because it's preventing voting. So what the best place to do it at is to catch them or to disable their car with a random inspection at the NGO office itself. And then the other thing is, what we could do is we could have other type of, like we could have partisans that do even more radical things. Like we'll go into the bingos, take the fake ballots, and take them out to a bonfire in a place in the county that still has, still allows you to burn stuff, and then just burn them. Because they're fake ballots, you're not really doing anything illegal. So
Okay.
that's a way that we can. I mean, the odds are still stacked against the Pats, but
So what's the time frame of this? Is it like simultaneous? Or?
well, for the video game, it'll be simultaneously. But for the board game, we'll probably start the sequence like a month ahead of the elections, because we gotta have some sort of mechanism where we scare. Supposedly everyone's scared and they don't want to go to the ballot office, so we'll come up with some avian flu or some monkey flu or something that we'll call it avian BS.24.7 or something. So the news media will make everyone think that everyone's afraid to go to the polls, and that's why everybody is remote voting. So that's the mechanism for the remote voting.
Okay. I guess that evens the odds a little bit.
No, it still makes the odds in favor of the deep state. But what we could throw in, I guess, because you're making it sound like there's no way they can win, we throw in partisan cards. So, or what do you call it? Conscious cards. So someone rolls a certain number because they're like, say for instance, you're following around the mules, and your turn is like maybe 10 seconds or something because you're following a car. So like it goes in like blocks of 10 seconds, or I don't know, for a whole week that'd be too much, wouldn't it? So maybe it goes in blocks of an hour, right? Until you get to the Reck Olection day. And then all this will be resolved by Thanksgiving, because they're going to keep it going with the lawyers and everything until well past Thanksgiving. So the game goes from its move phase to its political phase to its lawyering phase to its legal phase. But anyway, the time frame is going to be at least a month ahead of the election to the time of Thanksgiving, I guess, in the United States here. We could make different games for different areas. We could, but the Canadians can't really vote. Their vote doesn't really count. And it's my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So how does a PAT stop a 3-letter agency?
Well, the thing is, the 3-letter agencies, what they usually do is they get into the agency and they infiltrate them, and then like you'll have 20 FBI agents and one person who is trying to follow their lead, and then they'll basically arrest that one person. It's entrapment. So in order to stop that from happening, the 3-letter agencies can't know that there's some kind of organization to this. So what we do is we make an invisible army based on cues and just basically give them ideas that they can take, and some people be enterprising enough in Fulton County, Kalkaska County, Orange County, Maricopa County. We'll make those different venues for the game. We can change the board to have expansion sets, like a Maricopa County expansion set.
New York.
Well, no, that's going to be a whole other thing. I think that would be like for the video game, that'd be super boss level, like New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, where they've been cheating for 100 years. Maybe we'll call it Counter-Strike. And like we could put like the Count, from Sesame Street, and have like a badge on him, so that he looks like somebody who's supposed to observe the polls. So we call it Counter-Strike, but that's for later. So even out the Pats, they don't have a given thing to do. Like they're not an army. They're not organized. Basically, a group of people in Fulton County say that's a really good idea, and then let's just stop them. But then the question is, how do you find the NGOs? How do you know where they are? That's my one question. It's like, how do you know how do you know where to find the NGOs? You don't have any ideas? Usually bingos are named like something the opposite of what they actually do. Like, I don't know, for like, say, an abortion clinic advocate group or abortion advocate group would be called like family planning or something.
Could you like incorporate like Sun Tzu's Art of War into the game?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, for instance, the partisans, they have no form. Basically, it's just people who are volunteering to save the world. So anyway, the other thing I was talking about was conscience cards. So eventually, like, to even up the odds with the deep state, the Pats have these conscience cards where they draw a conscience card that says, poll watcher unplugs the Virginia Power server from the internet. Because, right, if you're counting ballots, why do you need the internet to count ballots, right? So anyway, they unplug it, and then they can't get their orders back from the Vatican on what to change the vote to. Because the Vatican is behind all this. In the game, the Vatican is behind changing all the numbers through the server, through the Virginia Power server. I'm going to call it Virginia Power server because that just sounds like Virginia sounds pretty ominous. That's where all the, Langley and what's the Quantico, all those places are on Virginia, Maryland area. So I'll call it Virginia Power. Anyway, is it your turn?
I think it's your turn.
Oh, Mr. Rook, I see. So anyway, what do you think? What do you think about even the odds up, or do you think we contact Milton Bradley or Parker Brothers, or maybe if we go video, we talk to Blizzard?
Maybe, but now YouTube ads cost a lot.
Yeah, but we're not going to put it on YouTube too much because YouTube, everyone sees it as fake news anyway. You don't think good YouTube is for showing puppy videos or how bad police are when they pull people over. They show all those, police beating the crap out of people when they pull them over on YouTube videos, and the police are totally out of league, and that they don't know these people like actually know the law and are videotaping them. That's all you get on YouTube these days. But anyway, I need to meet your challenge here. Oh, the other thing I was thinking of is that in addition to that, where did the bingos get their fake ballots from? Well, they get trucked in, right? So like at 3 a.m, like in Philadelphia, when they put the pizza boxes over the windows and they kick all the Republicans out, that's when the trucks come in. Or the trucks, they have the boxes underneath the table. So we have conscience cards that have poll workers that will take the boxes that are under the table and send them out to the people to go burn them. And then the trucks, you do the same thing, do an 18-wheel tire inspection on the trucks, just like you do the 4-wheel tire inspection on the mules. Now the trick is the mules and the media and the 3-letter agencies have to work together, or else the Pats are going to beat them. So it kind of evens out the game. Especially if like the media starts shutting down all videos that talk about stuff like this. So like we could say, like a card, you pull a kind of like a chance card in Monopoly. Media is onto something, so they put out a bulletin to do something, and then all of a sudden the FBI is shutting a bunch of stuff down. Or YouTube, or what's the other fake the censoring company, Facebook. Like YouTube or Facebook, they'll shut it down, and then all of a sudden you have to work around that by using the alt tech channels, with those conservatives, conspiracy people go hide on, like BitChute and Rumble. Anyway, that's my plan.
Get it all written down and everything. Maybe
I'll send you a copy. We can work on the art for the board game.
Blizzard may not buy it, but
Well, not Blizzard. Blizzard's kind of cool. They're the role-playing sort of.
video game companies, they're all owned by the same people.
Like EA. I'm sure EA wouldn't take it.
Milton Bradley, though. We just make our own game company.
Yeah. I mean, in the 80s, people did that, and kind of Logic Games. I think that was one of them that took off. Is it my turn or your turn? Well, you moved your rook, didn't you? Because you're going to try to kill my bishop. Anyway, that's my game idea. Get back to me after the holidays, and we'll see if we can get this out. Like, probably in October, like the beginning of October. And then, get some information, get some people that will come in and comment and see what they think about the game idea. Remember, it's Reck Olection. So tell your subscribers about it and see what they think. Anyway, your turn. No, it's not. It's my turn. Woman, right down the line. You're telling me to leave, aren't you? I think that's what you want me to do.